Imagine two of the world's most dangerous secret agents, covertly sent to Iran on a critical mission, only to end up crushed by a tank like minor characters in a war movie. No drama, no rescue. Even Israel's prime minister was trembling as he watched the footage. How could such madness happen? This story is more than a tragedy, it's an international embarrassment. Don't miss it. It'll make you rethink power. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, where we share inspiring and instructive stories. But first, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to write a prayer in the comments so we may receive intercession on Judgment Day. Let's start the story. That evening, in a Tel Aviv basement, rumored to be a secret base but oddly known to many, two men in black suits with slicked-back hair and serious faces were seated. Though, honestly, they looked overly confident. These weren't ordinary people. They were Mossad agents. Their names and faces were closely guarded, but apparently, both had a crucial mission tied to Israel's national security. They'd been given a noble, or rather, risky assignment from their boss, who, rumor has it, received orders directly from the Prime Minister: infiltrate Iran, not to sightsee or try kebabs, but to neutralize a nuclear scientist who was allegedly a major obstacle to Israel's regional dominance project. Just two? One of the agents asked, glancing at a map. Two is enough. It's not about numbers, but stealth, their boss replied. Wow, how philosophical. As usual, every agent sent on a mission is convinced they'll return. In reality, haha, the world of espionage is like a horror movie. You don't know who'll survive, but if you're the main character, you'll likely die first. Infiltrating Iran isn't easy. It's not like moving from Jakarta to Bekasi. Security is tight, spies are hunted, and all foreigners are watched. But these two agents were truly bold. They disguised themselves as investigative journalists from a neutral country, carrying fake cameras, fake passports, and fake confidence that they wouldn't be caught. The first few days went smoothly. They entered a small border town, stayed at a modest hotel, posing as tourists. But due to overconfidence, and maybe some bad luck, one of them recorded a military zone in a public place at noon. Brother, if you're spying, don't smile on the sidewalk. Spies should be like shadows, not clowns at a birthday party. How could they not be suspected? And, sure enough, local military soon approached them. No documents, no introductions. Come with us. They resisted a bit, but, come on, this is Iran, not some shady internet cafe. Cause a stir in a sensitive area, and you're surrounded instantly. They were arrested, handcuffed, and taken to an underground military facility. The Israeli government panicked. These were official agents, though publicly denied. But when photos of the agents in prisoner clothing, with bruises under their eyes and disbelieving faces, appeared in Middle Eastern media, everyone knew. These weren't just lost tourists. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was immediately worried. He usually appeared calm, decisive, and a bit arrogant. But this time, he was pale. Perhaps because he knew these two agents weren't mere pawns. They held data, secrets, and strategic plans that, if leaked, could humiliate Israel internationally. In an emergency meeting room, Netanyahu asked, "Can we save them?" One military official replied, "Maybe if we send special forces, but that would start a war." Silence. Yes, that's the problem with being a country that pretends to be strong. When things are calm, it acts arrogantly. But when its soldiers are in trouble, it's lost. Diplomacy was impossible. Iran wouldn't negotiate. For them, it wasn't just about catching two spies. It was a symbol. As a frequently harassed country, they wanted to send a message. Don't mess with us. In the end, Netanyahu chose a backdoor approach. He tried pressuring allied countries, contacting diplomats, but it was all futile. Even some usually compliant allies said, "Sorry, brother, you went too far." Sadder still, many media outlets began mocking the Mossad's arrogance. Too confident, one editorial wrote. And internet users? Well, it was a meme fest. Twitter was flooded with them. Mossad mission failed in 4K, read one viral post. But behind it all, Netanyahu learned the two agents were simply awaiting their fate. That morning, at a secret Iranian military training ground, definitely not on Google Maps, the two Mossad agents stood before a camera. Their hands were tied, faces bloodied, mouths silenced, literally and figuratively. Beside them was an Iranian military commander, smirking. Not a regular smile, but one that said, "We won today, and we don't care who's watching." Behind them, a menacing steel tank. Its engine roared, heavy as a nation's debt. And yes, they were crushed. No long speeches, no soap opera drama, no Western movie scenes where the hero gets to say, "Tell my wife I love her." No, this is Iran, brother. The execution was precise, practical, efficient, brutal. The two agents' bodies, sorry, I can't censor this, no longer looked human. More like chunks of meat on the asphalt. All that remained was their uniform. A shame no soap can wash away. The execution news went viral instantly. It couldn't be stopped. Every platform exploded. Iran spread the video like it was a prank, though it was no prank. Israel stayed silent. Netanyahu didn't appear for 24 hours. They say he was ill, but rumors claim he was in a god-level panic, brother. He knew these agents weren't just agents. They were part of a secret operation that, if exposed, could bring international scrutiny to Israel. Even his own people began criticizing. Who ordered these people into the tiger's den dressed as chickens? Netanyahu hid in his palace, in the basement, behind a criticism-proof suit. But you can't fool the public. Israelis started thinking, "Hey, is our leader a coward? It's like you're the gang leader, and when two of your guys get beaten, instead of acting, you pretend to update your status with, 'I'm sick.'" Even some satirical media ran headlines like, "Netanyahu asked NATO for protection but got ginger tea advice instead." Meanwhile, the international community remained indifferent. Amid wars, recessions, and political fever, two Mossad agents crushed by a tank were just a 30-minute headline. Then everyone forgot. Internet users moved on to other topics, like why cats can be more famous than diplomats. But something interesting happened. Middle East analysts began writing lengthy articles. Has Israel lost its fangs? The Mossad, once the most feared agency, became a meme. How scary. On the other hand, Iran grew more confident. They saw this as a golden moment to show the world. We're not victims, we're fighters. And of course, their actions were celebrated by anti-Israel groups. Even some neighboring countries quietly approved behind diplomatic curtains. But amid all this, there's a thought-provoking point. All of us, regardless of flag, religion, or country, are actually the same. Death is death. Humiliated or glorified, the body returns to the earth. Those two Mossad agents, who once might have had families, children, or dreams, are now just names cursed or remembered, depending on who's telling the story. And Netanyahu, who knows what he felt that night. But if he's human, he must have felt guilt, or at least fear. After this event, Netanyahu often isolated himself, not to find inner peace or life's meaning, but because of an island of fear. They say he woke up at night, terrified, dreaming of tanks rolling on asphalt. In reality, it was just a street sweeper cleaning outside his residence. But in his mind, it was tanks, and under the wheels was his own face. Weeks later, the media moved on. You know how media works. Today, everyone's talking about crushed Mossad agents. Tomorrow, a French TikToker lost in North Korea. But the people, especially protesters, don't forget so easily. They're not angry about the agents' deaths, but the question, why do we send agents to a foreign country and end up in shame? Salaries don't rise, but secret operations continue. And that's very relative. In any country, if the people's money is spent on missions for the state and ends up as global mockery, it sparks outrage. It's like saving for a car, and they buy you a Mobile Legends skin. Some took to the streets to protest but were silenced. Yes, it's normal. What government loves criticism? The difference is, at that time, Israel was weak. Any criticism was like a grenade hit. Iran, meanwhile, stayed silent. They didn't need to shout. They know sometimes silence hurts the enemy most. The video of the two agents still circulates on the dark web, a warning to anyone daring to enter the tiger's den. Other countries pretend they see nothing, like kids closing their eyes during a horror movie. They know this incident could be a ticking diplomatic bomb, but it's easier to act busy. That's the world now, full of image, devoid of empathy. On camera, world leaders greet and smile, but backstage, they betray, set traps, and wait for someone to slip. They wait for someone to reveal their true nature. That evening, Netanyahu sat alone in his office. All lights were off, except one. His hands trembled, not from age, but from a burden that can't be shared. What do we do for national security? Is it really for the people or my own ego? No one answered, but sometimes silence is the most honest response. The 2 agents he sent were now just names. Their families got no detailed explanations, the public got no transparency, and the world got no chance to know the truth. And he understood it wasn't about the mission's failure. It was about power often demanding sacrifices, but never admitting mistakes. Netanyahu wrote in his diary, "If tomorrow I'm no longer a leader, let this be a reminder that those who play God must be ready to be seen as the devil." Brother, this story is fictional, but its meaning is real. Sometimes people, especially those with power, are too confident and arrogant. They think they can control everything, send troops here, run secret operations there, for the state's sake. But in the end, it's not politicians or pride that die, but the lives of people sacrificed without a choice. And we, maybe just spectators, but spectators can think, can feel. So, if you're a leader, or have even a bit of power, don't let your life end like Netanyahu's in this story. Alone, with regrets, haunted by the sound of tanks that never stop. Yeah.